Well, it all comes down to this, the finale of Season 7 for The Masked Singer, the good, the bad, and the cuddly edition. And all three of our finalists were from Team Good. Let's talk The Masked Singer. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It, and welcome to my recap and reaction video for The Masked Singer Season 7 finale. We've been doing this week by week, really for several seasons for The Masked Singer, down to Season 3, I guess it was, is when we started. But now we have the Prince, the Firefly, and the Ringmaster all going head to head in the finale. And it goes without saying, I think, that you guys in the comments make doing these videos very, very fun. So I appreciate your comments all throughout this season. I look forward to what you have to say about Season 8 coming in the fall, I do believe. I don't know if there's been a date announced yet for that, but I know it was renewed, so we will be getting more Masked Singer at some point, probably later this year. But we now have the finals. Like I said, they're all from Team Good. And before we launch into the specifics on here, I do want to urge you to subscribe to my channel if you're not one of my subscribers already. Would love to have you aboard, heading towards 1,000 subs. That is the goal before too long. We just hit 950 a week or two ago. So, all right. So first up was the Prince. And for all of these tonight, we just had a fairly quick clue package. It was sort of an election-themed vote for me type of package, which, you know, makes sense because, of course, this is a final, so people are voting for their favorites. But also, you know, yesterday here in the U.S. was the primary, so elections are on people's minds. So it all makes sense. And then they sang their song, and then no clue afterwards or anything, just the guesses from the panel, and then we moved on to the next contestant. So, but the clues tonight, we had a pin that said Glee Club alumni. All of these people have a pin in their clue package, you know, for their voting materials. But this one said Glee Club alumni. We saw a picture of a cat when he said the love of his life. There was a picture of Ryan Murphy with an American flag, sort of as the backdrop. A Broadway sign as well. And then he sang Viva La Vida from Coldplay. And before we move on with anybody else, I will tell you that the Prince was the first one voted out. So we're going to kind of go there because the Firefly and the Ringmaster each sing a second song as they are in the top two. I don't know anything really of what happens in this episode past the Prince's, you know, being voted out. So I had talked to one of our commenters earlier in the day, Liam Kelly 369, that had mentioned he saw something on some sort of Fox site with Firefly and Ringmaster sort of standing side by side. So they were thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe they're going to be in the finale. And I was like, oh, I kind of hope not, because I would like the final two to be the Prince and the Ringmaster. However, after I heard the songs from all three contestants, I think it does make sense that the Prince is going home. He picked by far the safest song of all three of them. Viva La Vida by Coldplay is an outstanding song. It's a crowd pleaser, but, you know, I don't know that it really covers the vocal depth that maybe we need in a finale. Chris Martin's got a great voice from Coldplay, of course. You know, I'm certainly a fan. I've seen them many times in concert, but he is not what I think of when I think of outstanding, you know, range and tone in the voice. Yeah, it's good. But is it sort of A+ finale level? I don't know. So I think the song choice was a little too safe for my taste. But anyway, we heard three guesses from the panel after he sang, and they were the exact same repeated when we announced that the Prince was leaving. So I'm just going to tell you what those were. Ken thought it could be Matt Bomer. All of these people, by the way, have worked with Ryan Murphy. You know, the beautiful thing about the Ryan Murphy clue is he's done so many different things between TV shows and, I mean, most TV shows, but a lot of them have been like miniseries. So you've had a lot of different actors sort of coming and going, and he's done some movies as well. But Matt Bomer was part of, I believe, the Normal Heart cast, which was a movie, but then also did some of the American Horror Story stuff. Robin thought it could be Ricky Martin. And they all had sort of a different interpretation, too, for the American flag behind him, because there's American Crime Story, there's American Horror Story for Ryan Murphy, and all of these people have done sort of something in that realm. Ricky Martin did the Versace one. Jenny thought it could be Ben Platt, another Broadway star, certainly a good guess. These are all actually good guesses, I think, but Nicole finally hit on it. What I've been saying since week 1 of The Prince, which was about a month ago. I think this is Cheyenne Jackson. Now, I don't know who's under the mask yet, but I've been saying Cheyenne Jackson since the beginning, so I'm happy if it is him. I think I got this one right away, and she called something out that nobody else on the panel picked up. I picked up on it, and that's why I wrote it down. The picture of the cat. Cheyenne Jackson is currently on the Fox program Call Me Cat. So it all fits. He's a Fox star already. So let's go to the Take It Off, and once and for all, let us know here that this is for sure our friend Cheyenne Jackson. Really great singer. I really wanted him to be in the top 2, but after the performances tonight, I think it makes sense for it to be the 2 ladies in the final here. Is it? Yeah, he's so beautiful. Look at him. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous man. People are freaking out. Everyone's loving it. I love that Nicole got that, because I don't believe anyone has said that this whole season so far. But certainly an original guest for me from week 1. I knew he was on Glee. I knew he did the American Horror Story stuff. Here we go. The Broadway sign was for his Broadway credits. Well, no kidding. We knew that. Wow, he did 9 Broadway shows before he even got into television. That's funny. All right, Cheyenne has worked with Ryan Murphy on several series, including American Horror Story. We talked about that. All right. Look, I think these are all the clues we already know, so, we don't have to do too much about that. But there we go. Another first-round pick for me, so I'm very proud of that one. And for these 2 remaining people, now they're going to still do a sing-off, so this is a guess sort of before that. But look, of the 2, I think Ringmaster deserves to win this. You know what? I guess we'll go over... Why not? We'll go over the clues here, and then I'll go back to the tape and watch the rest of the episode, and then we'll get to the unmasking there. But Firefly, we saw a basketball hoop. She said she wanted to face her fears and come out of retirement. We saw an M, the letter M, on a television. We saw a keyboard. She said she refuses to fade away. We saw her pin said 5678 with a 7, very, very, bold text. And obviously, that's sort of the whole dancer thing. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then she sang Bad Girl by Usher. So the guesses from the panel: Monica from Nicole, Brandy from Ken, so definitely going on that Brandy and Monica tip from the 90s, which I think I was on that first week as well. But you guys talked me into this Teyana Taylor, who I honestly was unfamiliar with. But I think these clues continually line up for her. That was Robin's guess after the performance tonight. And I don't know if that's the first time she was guest on the program or not, but, she's worked with Pharrell. We've seen Pharrell clues. In fact, I think Pharrell maybe discovered her kind of thing in terms of music. I really don't know that much about her, but he also pointed out she was in Kanye West's Faded video, and she says, I refuse to fade away. So he put together a few clues there. You guys in the comments put together a ton of clues over the weeks for Teyana Taylor, but we haven't really seen her on this show in a couple of months, so because she was part of that very, very first group. So I kind of forget what all the clues said, but I'm going with Teyana Taylor for that one. And then Ringmaster, we saw a horse on her pin. As a youngster, she said, her only passion was music, but life took a different path, and we saw a big gold chain with 80 on it, the number 80. We saw a picture of them with a mouse resembling maybe Mickey Mouse a little bit, but not copyright infringing, so not close enough. But he was wearing a crown. And then a picture of Simon Cowell as well. And she sang Gravity by Sarah Bareilles. And this is a showstopper of a number. It's certainly not as famous as some of her other tunes, love songs specifically. That's certainly the most famous of the Sarah Bareilles tunes. Not gonna write you a love song. But this Gravity, when I first heard that Sarah Bareilles album, that was the track that stuck out to me as this is a vocal performance. This is a singer's kind of a song. So I love that Ringmaster picked this. I think this was by far, by leaps and bounds, the most challenging of the songs sung tonight. Now, again, they're going to sing, again, the Firefly and the Ringmaster, and I don't know what those songs are, so maybe we'll see something else from Firefly. But of the 3 original songs for this episode, Gravity just kills it. For me, it is always a showstopper. Guesses from the panel include Hayley Steinfeld from Ken, Lucy Hale from Nicole, and Hayden Panettiere from Jenny. Of course, she was on Nashville. Really, none of these are bad guesses. What's interesting is, and what I love about this season that I don't think we've got that much in previous seasons, is that, none of these, for any of these people, are really poor guesses for all the clues. All the clues are vague enough all the way through. Now, granted, they didn't give us a ton of clues like they have in previous episodes. I mean, we really only got week 1, we got clues. Week 3, we got clues. Week 2 for each singer was kind of just a wrap up. And then now we're on to this. I mean, I think there's less episodes this season than previous. So we didn't get, the full-on barrage of clues, but I liked that. I think it's good that we sort of are kept a little bit in the dark. There's a little bit of mystery left, but nobody in this entire season has said who I think it is from the start. This was another first-week guess for me, Hayley Orrantia from the Goldbergs, which of course explains the 80s necklace. It also explains why she said her only passion was music, but life took her on a different path. And we saw some hail as well. The panelists kept pointing that out. Hayley Steinfeld, Lucy Hale. Well, my guess matches up too with that, Hayley Orrantia. So that's who I'm going with. But look, I'm going to go back to the tape here and watch these other performances and see who was voted out. But for me, right now, I believe the winner of this season is going to be Ringmaster. I hope I'm right. Let's see. Well, the Firefly has won the season. And I should have done a live reaction to that, but I could, I only want to edit this video so many times. But yeah, look, from their second performances tonight, I get it. So their second songs, Firefly did Lost Without You, which is a Robin Thicke song. So, okay, kiss, kiss, kiss the butt. But look, she performed it amazingly. It was really great. And she does have a really great voice. I think part of my frustration with her is that attitude she showcased in the earlier part of the season. Hayley, well, I don't know if it's Hayley Orrantia yet, but that's what I've been saying. Ringmaster sang Waking Up in Vegas from Katy Perry. Obviously, a different tone to the song from her first number. But I think that makes sense. You don't want to do 2 upbeat numbers. You don't want to do 2 ballads. If you're in the finale, you want to mix it up, showcase your diversity. But unfortunately, she sang the more showy song first, which was Gravity by Sarah Bareilles. Waking Up in Vegas is a great tune, and she did it justice. I mean, she sang just like Katy Perry, which, Katy's got a very good voice. But, Firefly taking a little bit of a twist with the vocals, too, because her first song she did was by Usher. Her second song was by Robin Thicke. So she's taking these male songs and sort of putting her own twist on it. Whereas, as good as the Ringmaster's performance was of Waking Up in Vegas, it, was almost like a carbon copy of Katy Perry, which is good, but if you're not bringing anything to the table, then I can see, unfortunately, why she didn't win. But here's what's interesting. I don't know if we've had anybody in the top 2 that has never been guessed by anyone on the panel the entire season. You guys tell me in the comments, because you keep track of all this, I think, a little more than I do. I mean, I do have, the notebook here. All of these pages, by the way, this is all the seasons we've done so far of The Masked Singer. But, rather than actually going back through and delving in. But I can't think of a finale where no one guessed somebody in the top 2 at all. So here were the final guesses for the Ringmaster. I don't know the final Firefly guesses yet, because we're going to unmask Ringmaster first. But good guesses. Again, this season has given us some really juicy clues that could go any manner of ways. Robin guessed Maren Morris. Nicole, Ken, and Jenny all stuck with their original guesses from earlier in the episode. So Nicole said Lucy Hale, Ken said Hayley Steinfeld, and Jenny said Hayden Panettiere. Another thing I want to say about the mouse clue from earlier, because people are saying, oh, it must be, for Disney, Hayley Steinfeld, she's in Hawkeye on Disney Plus. Lucy Hale, she got her start on Disney. Okay, but Disney owns ABC, though, which is home to the Goldberg. So I am very happy with my guess, my original guess from the first performance of the Ringmaster, Hayley Orrantia. I think it's going to be her. I think it'd be cool, though, if it was, one of these other ladies. I didn't know Lucy Hale could sing like that, maybe. But let's see. I think everybody's going to be floored by this. If they can. She's got such a big costume. Let's see. Yep, that's her, Hayley Orrantia. Yes. Everyone's so shocked because nobody knew. She can sing, dude. And we've seen that, by the way. Turn this down a little bit. We've seen this on the Goldbergs. Her character loves to sing, Erica. But yeah, what a great voice. I want to hear about this.
Honestly, I have loved music my entire life, and I ended up becoming more known through working on the Goldbergs as an actress. Erica Goldberg!
Yeah, Goldbergs, by the way, going into its 10th season next year in the fall. The sweet southern bottle was a clue to her birthplace of Texas. Okay. Oh, yeah, they had that early clue.
I auditioned as a solo artist season 1 back in 2011 of the X Factor when you were a judge. And
oh, wow. That's the Simon Cowell clue, too.
I remember that name. Paula was my judge, so I didn't get to interact with you a ton, but...
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so... If you couldn't hear her, so she auditioned for season 1 of the X Factor, which we've sort of, I had that earlier, but I didn't realize Nicole was a judge on season 1, or maybe one of you told me in the comments now that I think about it, but I didn't know it at the time when I got the X Factor clue, so that explains the Simon Cowell clue as well, but that's where she knows Nicole from earlier. All right, so the elf is a nod to Hayley's role in the movie Christmas is Canceled. Well, who didn't see that blockbuster? All right, well, I don't care about that. All right, so we're going to go back and see what the panel's final guesses here for the Firefly are, but we are thinking, of course, Teyana Taylor. My original guess, I don't even know. Let me see if I can, from the guesses that were on the panel, did I think it was probably Brandy or Monica, right? I think I was on the Monica train. Oh, Aisha Tyler, though. That's right, because they had that, stand-up microphone. Maybe I thought it was Aisha Tyler, come to think of it. All right, well, anyway, I think we know that's not true now, but we'll go to the tape here and see what the panel thinks. Some interesting guesses from the panel. Some, I guess all that we've heard before, but Robin stuck with his Teyana Taylor guess from earlier in the episode. Jenny piggybacked on that. She thinks it's Teyana Taylor as well. Nicole stuck with her guess of Monica. Ken brought up somebody who has been sort of talked about back and forth this entire season as Firefly because of all of the different New York clues and keyboard clues. Alicia Keys. I don't think that Alicia Keys is going to do The Masked Singer, certainly not at this point in her career. But to be honest, it's not a terrible guess. I mean, vocally, I can see it, I guess. And listen, I never heard of Teyana Taylor before this season of The Masked Singer. No idea. But Robin pointed out she's married to a basketball star. He again made the Kanye reference with the refuse to fade away comment. She was in Kanye's Faded video. And then Jenny pointed out with the Tyler Perry clue, she was in one of the Tyler Perry movies. Who hasn't been at this point? But look, I gotta go with you guys in the comments. You've been saying Teyana Taylor really since week 1. So I think it's got to be her. They're going to have to tell me if it is, because I wouldn't know her, if I ran into her on the street. So let's see. Is it her? It is Teyana Taylor. Oh, she's very pretty. Oh, people are freaking out. People must know this person. I don't know. I know she was on my Super Sweet 16, which I've never watched a second of in my life. But listen, she does have a very good voice. I don't like her attitude. She had a bit of a tude problem the first season here. The TV with a faded M was a nod to her performance in the faded video at the Video Music Awards. So it had to do with the MTV thing as well. Okay. She did sing very well. All right. Well, look, I think the Ringmaster should have won. Oh, and her husband apparently won Dancing with the Stars. All right. Well, she's married to some basketball star. I don't know who that is. I don't follow Dancing with the Stars. I know some of you do. A couple Dancing with the Stars clues, though, in this season because Kirstie Alley was on there. All right. So, listen, as the season wrap-up, I'm a little bit disappointed, I guess. I wanted Ringmaster Hayley Orrantia to win. There's never been a season winner of The Masked Singer that I've not heard of before the season started. There's certainly been people along the way that I've never heard of, including this season. I never heard of Jordan Mailata, which is weird because he's on the Philadelphia Eagles. I should know him. And then Duff Goldman, I never heard of him either before this one. But it's usually sports stars. Victor Oladipo, I had never heard of him before. But anyway, in summary for this season, my stats, I went 10 for 14 by the unmasking. So the only 4 I didn't get were the 2 I just mentioned that I never even heard of, Duff Goldman and Jordan Mailata. Jorge Garcia, I did not get either, and Christy Brinkley, I did not get either. And in terms of the first impression guesses, I got 5 of them, which I'm pretty happy about. Penn and Teller, Kirstie Alley, Cheyenne Jackson, Hayley Orrantia, and Shaggy. I knew those all the first week. So I feel like that's usually my par. I usually get somewhere around 4, 5, or 6 of the first impression guesses. So I'm happy with that. That's sort of on par with what I usually get. And then with your help, and as the clues kept coming out, 10 out of 14 by the time the people were revealed. And of course, we are only counting 14 for this season because Rudy Giuliani cannot count. I mean, aside from the fact that, he's a human stain, but we all knew before the season started that he was on it. The episode he was voted off, I got word hours before I watched it that he was the one voted off. So I can't in good conscience even count that as anything because, I obviously knew everybody knew. So that doesn't really count. So I'm only really accepting the 14 people we didn't know going into the evening's episode. So, look, thank you all for watching. I guess we will take a break for the summer because they're not doing The Masked Dancer this summer. So hopefully I will see you all in the fall for Season 8 of The Masked Singer. And, please catch some of my other videos. I know a lot of people have transitioned from Masked Singer videos into some of my movie reviews or my TV reviews. Please check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff on my channel. I review pretty much every movie that comes out and a lot of the TV shows as well. So a lot to check out every single week on my channel. So please subscribe and do that. Otherwise, I will see you back here in the fall for Masked Singer Season 8.